So dear students, continuing with the first stage of embryology, so where we learnt in previous session about spermatogenesis, we saw the development of sperms in spermatogenesis, and today we are going to see the gametogenesis in females, so formation of oocyte called as oogenesis. So the production of female gamete is called as oogenesis. Oogenesis is a sequence of events by which the oogonia are transformed into matured oocytes. So this process of oocyte begins before birth and complete after puberty. So that thing you should note down here. So the maturation of oocyte begins before birth, completed after puberty means in males, if you might have seen in males, the maturation of spermatocytes, spermatogonial cells, they start maturing only at the time of puberty. So no change happens before birth or after birth unless the male reaches the adolescent age. So only when male attains puberty, that time the maturation of spermatogonial cells will begin. But in females, it is different. The oogenesis starts before birth. So that is one thing we should note down. That is the major difference between the spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So the maturation begins before birth and is completed. So you see the completion of this maturation after puberty. So let's see how the changes happen. So just like in males, in females also we have got primordial germ cells, which we represent as PGCs. So primordial germ cells have the diploid number of chromosomes in females as 46XX, and these primordial germ cells, we know they are derived from epiblast cells during second week of intrauterine life. So the second week of intrauterine life, there is no ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm that time. Only we have got two layers called as epiblast and hypoblast. Epiblast is primitive ectoderm. So these columnar cells, epiblast cells, which gives rise to this primordial cells during second week of gestation. So that happens even in males also. So these primordial germ cells, slowly they migrate along with the migration of primitive streak. So primitive streak, which is also learnt in the later session. So now as of now, don't get confused with that. So just remember the epiblast cells are there, and these cells migrate along with the migration of the cells via the primitive streak cells. So these migrate to where? They migrate to the wall of yolk sac. And from the wall of yolk sac, they migrate further. So 2 times migration happens, migrates to the gonadal ridge. So gonadal ridge or genital ridge, it appears during 5th week of gestation. So during 5th week, we see the gonadal ridge, and so the cells migrate, they travel from the wall of yolk sac into the gonadal ridge and settle there and start differentiating. So while they travel also they differentiate. So they differentiate into what? The primordial germ cells, they differentiate into oogonia. So the oogonia cells which have diploid number of chromosomes as 46XX. So that is about the oogonia. And now this oogonia undergoes some cyclic changes that is called as oogenesis. So oogenesis continues till menopause. So it begins here, the division begins before birth and it continues till the woman attains menopause. Maturation of this oocyte you can divide into prenatal maturation, that is before birth, and after birth changes as postnatal maturation. So oogonium is unique because it is the only female cell in which both X chromosomes are active. So if you see in a normal cell in females, we have 46 chromosomes, that is 44 autosomes and 2 or 6 chromosomes called as XX. So these 2 X chromosomes are not active all the time. So if you see the chromosomes here present inside the nucleus, so out of these 2 X chromosomes, only one X chromosome is active all the time. So only one X is needed for a normal life. The other X chromosome becomes inactive and it becomes bar body. So it becomes a bar body and inactive. Only one will be always active. But here in the oogonia, both the X chromosomes are active. Both the X chromosomes are active. That is the unique thing about the oogonium. And these oogonia undergoes mitosis and they enlarge to form primary oocytes. So primordial germ cells now undergoes stages of mitosis and enlarges further. We can see it enlarges along with the mitosis to form primary oocyte. You can see here. So primary oocyte remains arrested in the meiosis. So what happens? Now this primary oocyte will enter into meiosis. So first meiosis is always a reduction division. Just like you might have seen in spermatogenesis also, first meiosis is a reduction division where the primary oocyte turns to form secondary oocyte. But it doesn't form secondary oocyte. It is arrested in the prophase of first meiotic division. So if you see the prophase, it is having further phases, so which we learnt in previous session in cell cycle. So prophase has got a phase called as diplotin. So this diplotin stage, so they are arrested in the prophase diplotin of meiosis 1 due to an inhibitor called as oocyte maturation inhibitor. So because of this inhibitor, the cells are primary oocytes are arrested. So they won't form any secondary oocytes. So the cells are arrested at which age of the embryo? They are arrested in the 5th month of intrauterine life. This thing you have to note down. Until the woman attains puberty. And during attainment of menarche, that is increase in LH hormone occurs. So LH surge will be there. So during adolescence. So because of LH surge, what happens? The primary oocytes complete their first meiotic division to form secondary oocyte. Okay. So further the changes occur. So this is now the postnatal maturation we will tell. So the postnatal maturation will start only at the puberty. So the primary oocyte remains dormant until puberty and maturation of oocyte begins at the puberty. So the ovarian cycle is triggered by the surge of luteinizing hormone. So there will be a luteinizing hormone surge, LH surge, where a primary oocyte completes meiosis 1 to form secondary oocyte. So it forms the daughter cells, secondary oocyte. So at puberty, after 5th to 15, after puberty, during every menstrual cycle, around 5 to 15 primary oocytes begin maturation in each ovarian cycle. And but only one reaches full maturity and undergo ovulation. So that is the rule every time it occurs. So one thing we have to note here, no primary oocytes form at birth. In contrast, in males there are continuous production of primary spermatocytes. So primary spermatocytes are continuously produced and at the adolescent age only they start maturation. So the maturation begins, the spermatogenesis begins only at the puberty in males, whereas in females the oogenesis begins before birth itself. When the baby is in mother's womb itself, the oogenesis begins and it is arrested in 5th month of intrauterine life. Only when the female attains puberty, it completes its first meiotic division to form secondary oocyte. So when it forms secondary oocyte, it forms one more daughter cell which is called as first polar body. So what is the difference between this secondary oocyte and first polar body? You can see the size of the cells. So the first polar body is formed only to have the chromosomes in it, only to have the nucleus and chromosomes. But all the cytoplasm is present with the secondary oocyte. There is no cytoplasm with the polar bodies. So the cells are arrested in the second meiotic division, means the secondary oocyte will enter into the second meiotic division, and second meiotic division is similar to mitosis only, where the same number of chromosomes are present in the daughter cells. But what happens means the second meiotic is not completed here. The second meiotic division is arrested at metaphase of second meiotic division. So the secondary oocyte has 23X, that is 23 haploid chromosomes. The fate of secondary oocyte, it depends upon the fertilization. Suppose the ovum is not fertilized, so it is present as secondary oocyte only. So it perishes as secondary oocyte itself. It forms a matured ovum only if it is undergoing fertilization. Only when the sperm penetrates through the corona radiata, that time the secondary oocyte completes its second meiotic division to form a mature oocyte, mature ovum having more amount of cytoplasm, and we can see the polar bodies which are formed here because of completing second meiotic division. So only at the time of fertilization, secondary oocyte will complete its second meiotic division. That thing you have to note down here. Approximate number of primary oocyte at 5th month of fetal life is 7 million. So I'll just mention here. So during 5th month of intrauterine life, there are around 7 millions. So many are there. So most of them of these, they get degenerated. So at the time of birth, they get reduced to around 600,000, somewhere to 800,000. Okay, the degeneration still continues, and at the puberty only 40,000, approximately around 40,000 of primary oocytes will be there, and out of which 400 to 500 undergo ovulation. Only 400 to 500 undergo ovulatory changes. So during every ovulation, one, that is secondary, to be specific, secondary oocyte is released for every ovulation. So approximately in woman's life, 400 to 500 primary oocyte undergoes ovulation. So during the complete female reproductive life. So this is all about the oogenesis. So I hope this topic I made it easy for you all. Thank you.